like, oh, I lost the Tony Stark glasses. And like, you what? Now they're on my mantelpiece.
Tom Holland has taken home props from every single project he's worked on, leading to his home being littered with movie props. So of course, he jumped at the chance to take home props from his Marvel films. While Holland has tried numerous times to take Spider-Man's iconic suit, he wasn't successful. However, he was able to keep the webhead's trusty web shooters as well as Tony Stark's glasses that became an integral part of the plot in Spider-Man Far From Home. That definitely makes you wonder if he's ever tried out those web shooters.
Could you get in trouble for it?
I mean, I haven't so far.
Holland is also a bit weirded out by the fact that the props department has a foam mannequin of him. While on the set of Homecoming, Holland was hoping to take home the mannequin so he could proudly display his Spider-Man costume he had his eyes on.
It's a little bit difficult to walk out of the set in a Spider-Man suit.
Robert Downey Jr. has quite a bit in common with the eccentric Tony Stark, so obviously the prop he would snatch from the set wouldn't be your average item. While filming the 2015 sequel Avengers Age of Ultron, the Avengers' giant A in the front of the team's headquarters caught the eye of Downey.
I said, why is this in England? Send it back to LA, I'll put it in my office. They're like, seriously? I said, yeah, I'll wait.
And it's there?
I have it.
If you were playing Captain America, wouldn't you want to bring home that iconic shield? Well, Chris Evans definitely took advantage of that and brought home several parts of his Captain America costume.
They gave me the shield, they gave me the cowl. I'm gonna ask for the full suit. I never asked for the full suit. Hemsworth got the full suit. I want the full suit.
Come on, Marvel, it's only fair. If Thor gets to keep his suit, then Cap definitely deserves to keep his.
Costume's a bit much. So tight.
Working with a prop such as Thor's trusty hammer, Mjolnir would be quite tempting. At least Chris Hemsworth thinks so, as he has taken home around 5 hammers. One of the hammers is proudly placed right next to the toilet, almost like a glorified toilet paper holder.
Often people stay in there a little longer, and I think it's because of the hammer.
Since Hemsworth is a father of 3, that does mean that his hammers have inevitably gotten a little banged up.
It's pretty heavy, and one of my sons in particular, who's a beefy little kid, certainly has said, Papa, look, I can do it. So the hammer's got a few dents in it, a few scratches.
Not only does Hemsworth have 5 versions of Mjolnir, he also has Thor's Stormbreaker from Infinity War and Endgame. That's quite the collection. Tom Hiddleston claims that his memento from filming isn't as impressive as some of his co-stars' souvenirs. While he would have loved to have taken the God of Mischief's trademark horns or his staff, his souvenir is actually something that comes from the very first Thor film, the scarf his character wears upon arriving on Earth.
Loki is worthy too.
We all know that Ryan Reynolds is in love with playing the merc with a mouth, and he even shares Deadpool's sense of snark.
You may be wondering why the red suit. Well, that's so bad guys can't see me bleed.
Reynolds couldn't pass up on the opportunity to bring home Deadpool's iconic red suit, even though he knew he really wasn't supposed to.
There's no space in that thing at all.
After 10 years of waiting to finally do his favorite character justice, on the last day of filming the first film, Reynolds drove off set while wearing Deadpool's signature style. He definitely earned it.
I know, right?
Tom Holland even managed to take props that most people would find boring and repurpose them for other uses once he brought them back to his house. He ended up taking a blue screen from the set of Far From Home and turned it into a cover for his poker table. Hey, who wouldn't want a reminder that they're Spider-Man while playing poker?
I am a walking meme.
Since Karen Gillan looks completely unrecognizable as Nebula,
She has a very different voice to me.
you'd think she'd want to take something home to prove to her friends that she's really Nebula. Gillan revealed that she still has the metal arm that Nebula wears, despite the frustrating experience on set of having to get it fitted every morning.
It's a lovely experience first thing in the morning.
The late Chadwick Boseman truly loved being in the MCU as the King of Wakanda, and of course he didn't want to leave the set of the film empty-handed. Boseman's souvenir was a bit of a humbler choice than some of his co-stars.
I have the beads, the Kimoyo bead.
Though Boseman did consider taking home Black Panther's hero armor, ultimately he decided he didn't want to go through all that trouble. Chris Pratt won over fans with his iconic portrayal of Star-Lord, but fans have also appreciated his character's sense of style. Pratt definitely thought so too, as he took home his character's costume. He did want to put it to good use by wearing it to visit kids in children's hospitals.
If it was a big enough movie to work, it would mean something to a kid who's sick in a hospital. For Peter Quill or Star-Lord to come visit him, I'll do that. That would give me real meaning for this movie, you know.
It was a pretty big deal when two-time Academy Award-winning actress Cate Blanchett joined the MCU as Thor's villainous half-sister Hela.
It's not possible.
Darling, you have no idea what's possible.
Despite her high prestige as an actress, Blanchett is clearly still a big fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So much so that she actually took home one of the prop Mjolnirs, which she has in her home.
You have Mjolnir?
I have Mjolnir.
Sebastian Stan's Memento is something that may not be as cool as some of his fellow co-stars, but it certainly does hold some memories.
I'm just gonna tell him I have an endless supply of KY jelly.
Both Stan and Karen Gillan explained that the lubricant was actually used to help them put on their characters' metal arms. Robert Downey Jr. actually gave Tom Holland's youngest brother, Patty, one of the most significant props in the entire MCU. When the 2018 Marvel film Black Panther was being released, Downey invited Holland and his brother to watch the film at his house, and even ended up giving Patty the surprise of a lifetime.
There was like a bang or something, and then I heard Paddy go, "Oh my god, oh my god," and I thought he'd like ripped a Picasso off the wall or something, but it turns out that Robert had given him his original Iron Man mask from the first film.
Despite having only starred in 2 movies as the famous web-slinger, Andrew Garfield definitely seemed to love playing the iconic role.
I got to work with incredible actors, a really great director.
Garfield wasn't actually allowed to take home his suit from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, despite multiple copies of the suit being around on set. Regardless, he ended up smuggling the Spidey suit off set, hoping nobody would notice that one of the 25 suits was missing.
I knew it was the right thing for me to do.
Hugh Jackman has played the feral-clawed mutant Wolverine for over 20 years, and now it feels like nobody could ever possibly replace him. Jackman revealed that he kept a Wolverine costume from every X-Men movie he appeared in, as well as the anti-hero's signature claws. He did admit that he sold many of the costumes for charity, but hinted that he may have kept 1 or 2, just to wear from time to time, on a Saturday night.
Exactly like that.
Michael Rooker's Yondu was a definite scene stealer in both Guardians of the Galaxy films. Since Rooker is such close friends with director James Gunn, he was able to take a few props home with him. Rooker reveals that he was able to take the orb from the first movie home, as well as Yondu's glass frog.
I like to stick them all in a row on my control console.
Most of all, Rooker was able to keep Yondu's trusty fin.
You think when I make this arrow fly, I use my head?
Thor Ragnarok director and star Taika Waititi is known for a quirky sense of comedy in all of his projects.
My name is Korg. I'm made of rocks, as you can see, but don't let that intimidate you.
Instead of taking a prop from set, he actually brought one of his own personal items to use on this set of the film, the shake weight that Karl Urban's Scourge uses in one memorable scene of the film. Waititi claims that the item did hold some sentimental value to him, which makes it pretty obvious that he brought the shake weight back with him after the film was done shooting.
To be honest, I didn't know what I was doing.
It wasn't only just the actors who were able to snag some mementos from the set of their films. Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn revealed on Instagram that he took a souvenir from the set of the first film. The robotic leg that Rocket Raccoon snatches during the prison scene in the first film now proudly sits in Gunn's front office. Hopefully the leg's real owner isn't missing it too much.
What did he look like hopping around? I had to transfer him 30,000 units.
Anthony and Joe Russo have become 2 of the biggest filmmakers in Hollywood after their work on both the last 2 Captain America films, as well as the last 2 Avengers movies. Anthony Russo reveals that he took home a collection of some of the most important props in the entire MCU, the Infinity Stones.
Well, I already have a lovely set of Infinity Stones, so that's a pretty precious prop.
Scott Derrickson was clearly passionate about directing Doctor Strange's trippy and mind-bending origin tale. There was one specific prop that he had his eyes on while helming the film, which he eventually took home with him, the Eye of Agamotto. Derrickson picked the prop because it was small enough to fit in his home, but at the same time, it was vital to the film itself.
It's mine. It's the one prop I took.